Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and today I'm going to be going over my April monthly budget. I am still using the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook. I have the boxed set, and so what I have here is the boxed set booklet for the month of April. So I use this a little bit differently. Usually this is a paycheck kind of budget. This is a paycheck bill tracker. I use these not only for my paycheck budgets, but also for my monthly budget. So that's what we're going to be going over today. I like to do a monthly budget just so that I can get an idea of how much I am going to need to earn in the month. And it also helps me to budget for each paycheck. So in the month of April, I do have 3 paychecks, which is really exciting. I am paid biweekly, so 2 months per year, I am paid 3 times instead of the usual 2. So I did make a note up here at the top. This is the income box that for my full-time job, there are 3 paychecks. And so far, if you guys didn't already know, I have moved to Arkansas. And so far, my income has not changed. I don't know if I misunderstood that my income would change when I moved. But so far, I am earning the same amount of money, which is $1,700 per paycheck. So with there being 3 paychecks in the month of April, that means my income should be $5,100 for the month. So I'll just write this down in the budgeted box. Now, I also make an income from YouTube. Now, YouTube is not income I can count on. It just depends on views, and I have to reach a certain threshold to be paid. I do not budget any money for YouTube income. If I get it great, I'll put the money into savings later on in the month. But for the purposes of a budget, I always budget 0. So that means my projected monthly income for the month of April is going to be $5,100. Next section is for bills. So I have written down all of my bills for the month of April. The first on the list is my rent. Now, my daughter and I are renting a mobile home outside of Little Rock. It is a 16 by 80, so a little shy of 1,300 square feet. The monthly rent is $500, so I'm going to write $500 in the budgeted box. And rent is due on the 1st, so we'll just write the date of 4/1 here. And I realize the angle of the camera is a little off, so you can't see me writing, and I do apologize. I'm still trying to find the best place to film and the best angles, so bear with me. Next is my renter's insurance. I did end up getting a renter's insurance policy through Geico, and the cost for that policy is $49.17. So $49.17. And the renter's insurance is due on April the 3rd. Moving on to my car insurance. My car insurance is actually going to be 0. Last month, I went ahead and paid my car insurance premium up until July. It was only, it was under $400 for the rest of the 6 months. I took out the policy in January, and I just went ahead and paid it in full because I had the money in my account. So there will not be any car insurance again until probably the 1st of July. Next is the utilities. So we've got electricity first. That is going to be due on April the 1st. And I don't know what that bill is yet, but I'm going to go ahead and budget $200. Next is the water bill. I'm going to put that it is due on the 1st, and it is going to be around $30. Next is the trash bill. I don't know. I didn't know that we had a trash bill until recently. That is going to be on 4/1 as well. And the amount for the trash bill is $50. It is paid quarterly. So it was just paid recently. So it's $50 per month. And then in 3 months, we will have the bill due. And it is right at $150. Next is my cell phone, and my cell phone bill is due later on in the month. I should have jotted down the day, and I didn't do the calendar part of the budget yet. So where you break down like where all your bills fall. That would have been smart for me to do before I did this budget video, but I didn't. I'm going to leave that blank, but it's due around the 26th of the month, I believe. And the total for my cell phone bill is $42.90. I do have a prepaid plan through AT&T. Next is the internet. That is going to be due on April the 1st. And the internet is $90 per month. And then we have our streaming services. The first one is Netflix. That is due on the 1st. And Netflix is $17.99. Then we have Hulu. And Hulu is also due right around the 1st. And Hulu is $11.99. All right, I'm sorry if the angle changed. I realize I have no idea what the heck I did with my calculator. So I'm using my tablet. Let's go ahead and add up the fixed expenses here. So the bills, we've got $500. I notice you guys can't see that. What is the best angle here? Okay, we'll do it this way. So $500 for rent. Then $49.17 for my renter's insurance, plus $200 for electricity, $30 for water, $50 for the trash, which, so funny, the reminder just popped up. Remind Carol Ann to take out the trash. So that's $50, and then $42.90 is my cell phone. Internet is $90. $17.99 is Netflix, and $11.99 is Hulu. So that is $992.05 is the total. So on this Budget by Paycheck workbook, there is a box for bill total, and we'll put $992.05. So now we have to figure out what the leftover amount is. So let's subtract $5,100, which leaves $4,107.95 to budget. So leftover $4,107.95. I'm going to set the calculator aside. And up here at the top, there is another box for leftover. We're just carrying that amount over. So $4,107.95. Next is my envelope totals. The first is food. So I am budgeting for 4 weeks in the month of April. So even though the 3 paychecks technically cover probably 6 weeks, in the month of April, because that last check is going to be on, I think it's the 30th, so like the last day of the month, I'm only budgeting for 4 weeks. And then whatever is left over will be savings and rollover amount. So let me just make a note down here. So that's going to be rollover. And that will move into the month of May, and then I will budget for those first 2 weeks in May in my May budget. I hope that makes sense. So the first is food, and our budget is $100 a week. So 4 weeks is what we're budgeting, and that's going to be $400 for the month. Then we have household expenses. The budget is $20 per week. So that is $80 for the month. Fur babies is also $20 per week. So that is $80 for the month. Gas is the same, $20 a week, $80 for the month. And last is spending. Spending is also going to get $20 a week, which is $80 for the month. So let's add up these cash expenses and see how much it totals. Okay, so we're starting with $400 for groceries plus $80 for household, $80 for fur babies, $80 for gas, $80 for spending is a total of $720 for the month. So right here where it says envelope total, I'm going to put $720. And we're going to subtract $720 from $4,107.95 so that we know how much is remaining. So 4107.95 is $3,387.95 left to budget. So $3,387.95. There is a leftover box here, which we're just carrying that amount down. So again, $3,387.95. And then we're going to talk about my sinking funds. Since I don't have any debt, I don't use the debt and additional savings page of this workbook. That's the only complaint I have of the box set, is that the budget is split over 4 pages instead of having it all on one. Since I don't have any debt, I just write my savings amount down here at the bottom. That's what works for me. So moving into the sinking funds, first one is Christmas. Now I'm going to budget $20 a week. That is $80 for the month. Same thing with gifts, $20 a week, $80 for the month. And last is fur baby sinking fund. Again, $20 a week, $80 for the month. It's easier this way because I don't have a local count yet, and the ATM is spitting out 20s, and I am modifying my budget so that everything is in $20 bills. It just makes things easier for me. All right, so we have, let's see what the savings amount is. Okay, so we had a leftover amount of $3,387.95. I'm going to subtract my sinking funds amount so we know what the leftover and savings amount is. So we're going to subtract 80, subtract 80, subtract 80, which is a leftover amount of $3,147.95. And that is going to be either savings or rollover amount for May. And so it's important for me to have savings. I know we've gone through this whole budget and I haven't mentioned this yet, but it has happened. My Kia Soul has died. My son, I think I mentioned in a cash envelope stuffing video that my son was driving it. The car just didn't feel right. And my son was driving it last week, and on Monday, I don't remember what the date was, but he called me that evening and he said, "Mom, I'm on the side of the road. the engine has the engine has died. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what in the world? He had been driving it for almost a little over a week, I guess, because again, it just didn't feel right. And he's a mechanic, and I wanted him to try to figure out what the heck was wrong with the car. And he called it a total engine failure. He said it started making an awful noise, and check engine light came on, and he had to pull over. He had the grandbabies in the car. It was just not a good situation. So, anyway, we had to have it towed. Luckily, I have AAA through my work, and it is currently sitting at a Kia dealership here locally. And from what I understand, my son's been the one to talk to the dealership. I have not actually spoken to them at all. But it looks like there was a recall on the car, which I did take it to the dealership in Virginia before I left to have it checked out, because I knew that there was a recall on the car. And the dealership in the town that I was living in Virginia said the car is fine. There's nothing with the recall that needs to be fixed, and they sent me on my way. The second half of the trip, when I was driving out here, the car didn't seem right. I couldn't really put my finger on what it was, but it just wasn't driving the same. And once I got here, I drove it to the store, and it still just didn't feel right. And so my son thinks that the engine failure is due to this massive recall that is on this Kia Soul. And so we're waiting to find out if Kia is going to replace the engine, basically, which is what needs to happen. And again, this is what I understand from my son, because he's been the one to deal with the dealership. I don't know if they're going to cover the cost of the engine. I think I've only put around 4,000 miles on the car since I got it about a year ago. So not a lot of miles have been driven since I purchased it. And I'm hoping that that'll be to my benefit and that they'll replace it. But if they do not replace the engine in the car, I have to decide either if I'm going to pay for the repair myself or just cut my losses and get something else. And so this savings and rollover amount may need to go to purchasing another car. I got pre-approved through Capital One, which is the bank that I use. Like, God forbid, if I need to take out a loan, I at least want to be prepared to know what I am approved for. And it's an insane amount of money. It's like $60,000 or some ridiculous amount like that. And if I need to get another car, I am going to try to purchase something with cash from an individual. This was completely unexpected, so I only have a certain amount of funds to work with. I do owe taxes for this year, which also have to be paid by May. So I need to just be really mindful of my IRS bill, plus trying to find potentially another car or pay for the motor. A lot of unknowns at this point, but I just want to have all of the options available should I need them. So with all that being said, I've been looking on like Facebook Marketplace, and I did find a Honda Civic that is right around 4,000, which I think when I got my hybrid back a few years ago, I paid less than 5,000 for that car. I want to say it was about 4,500. And so if I do have to get another car, my goal is to save enough in the month of April and May, and just maybe do without a car for that long, and purchase something for around the $4,000 to $4,500 mark. So anyway, that is my exciting news, which is not so exciting. It's actually pretty darn stressful. Anyway, so my sinking funds total down here, including my savings, is the leftover amount up here, which is $3,387.95, which means the leftover amount is zero because I do a zero-based budget. So hopefully, here in the next month or two, if my car cannot be fixed, then, I'll have enough money in savings to buy myself a little car just to get to and from the grocery store and visiting family here locally. Well, that is everything, guys. That is my April monthly budget. Let me know down in the comments section if you guys have had any unexpected things pop up in your budget, similar to my engine being completely useless. I would love to hear down at the bottom, in the comments, how you guys dealt with it. Were you able to cash flow whatever it was? Or, if you're debt free, have you had to go back into debt for some reason? I would love to hear that. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you're at. Bye.